Most people, they make workplace conflict way worse without even realizing it. In this video, I'll walk you through the biggest do's and don'ts so you can handle conflict professionally, reduce tension, and avoid damaging your reputation at work. You know that moment when someone says something in a meeting that is completely wrong and you know it's wrong, or someone questions your work in front of other people, or they take a conversation in a direction that feels unfair, and immediately your heart rate goes up. You start building this argument in your head, you start thinking about how you're going to prove them wrong. That's usually the moment that real conflict begins, and it's not because of what they said, but because of what happens next. Most people think workplace conflict is about facts. It's not. The facts, they matter, but conflict usually becomes difficult because egos get involved. People feel challenged, embarrassed, ignored, even threatened or disrespected. The second that emotions enter the room, logic alone stops working. That's why two intelligent people can look at the exact same situation and walk away with completely different interpretations. Understanding this changes everything. Your goal isn't just to be correct, your goal is to move the situation forward. The first is don't react immediately. This is probably the most expensive mistake that people make. Someone says something irritating, you interrupt, you get defensive, you raise your voice slightly, or you fire off the email, and now you've created a second problem. This is the conflict itself and your reaction to it. One thing I've learned is that very few workplace situations improve because someone reacted faster. Most of them, they improve because someone responded more strategically. They paused first, always. The first do assume miscommunication before you assume bad intent. Not necessarily because everyone's innocent, but simply because it's the fastest way to get to the truth. A surprising amount of workplace conflict comes from assumptions. Someone thought they were helping. Someone misunderstood a deadline. Someone assumed alignment that never existed. Before you decide someone is attacking you, ask questions, clarify, verify. You would be amazed how many conflicts disappear when both people realize they're talking about different things. The second don't fight for the room. A lot of people, they stop trying to solve the problem and they start trying to win the audience. They want everyone else to see that they're right. This is pretty common, especially in meetings. The problem is that public conflict, it activates people's pride. And once pride gets involved, solutions become much harder to find. If something is emotional, just take it offline. Protect the relationship first. Solve the issue second. The second do bring the conversation back to the goal. One of the most powerful questions you can ask is, what outcomes are we both trying to achieve here? That question, it changes everything because now it's not me versus you. It's both of us versus the real problem. And that's where progress usually starts. The third don't keep a score. I covered them last month. They never help me. They always do this. Once you start collecting evidence against people, every single interaction, it becomes a trial. Eventually, you stop seeing the situation clearly. Focus on the current issue instead. Don't focus on the list of every frustration you've accumulated over the last 3 years. The third do document, not dramatize. If something is serious, write it down. Keep the record, save the emails, track decisions. All facts are powerful. Emotional stories are not. Documentation protects you. Drama usually hurts you, so one gets taken seriously, the other one usually gets dismissed. Now, this is the part people don't talk about. In corporate environments, the person who appears the most calm most often has more influence than the person who is right. I know it's not always fair, but it's real. People trust people who appear emotionally stable under pressure, especially leaders. They're constantly asking themselves, can this person handle difficult situations? Can I trust them with more responsibility? Can they navigate tension without creating more of it? These questions, they matter a lot, unfortunately. If there's one thing I want you to remember, It's this: the goal of workplace conflict isn't winning, the goal is resolution. Anyone can react, anyone can argue, but the people who move up in organizations, they learn how to stay calm, they stay objective, and they stay focused on the outcome. That's what strategic confidence looks like. Not avoiding conflict, not dominating conflict, navigating it well. If this resonated with you, subscribe. I'll keep sharing the workplace dynamics most people don't realize are essentially shaping their careers.